Mindset 101. All right, so happy Sunday, everyone. And the word for this week is gratitude. What are you grateful for today? You know, I can remember, sometimes gone by, if people used to call and say, how are you? How is everything? The first thing I would probably proceed to do is to complain about everything that was not going right in my life in that moment. Like my first reaction would be to say, okay, this is happening, this is going wrong, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that, and as I started to work on my mindset and my mindset shifts. And the thought process for me was, okay, I'm telling these people these things. How is it going to change the situation? Me complaining and telling them, everything that's going wrong is not going to really make it go right. So why focus on that? Why give my energy to that? And that's how I started working on my mindset, to look for the good in everything, to be grateful, and so many of us don't realize that, even if it is that you woke up today and you didn't have, the oxtail that you want to eat, or you never have something that you really felt like having and you had to settle for something else, the fact that you're even alive today, is something to be grateful for, because so many persons went to bed last night and they had plans for today, but they did not make it into today, unfortunately. So the fact that we woke up this morning, that's the biggest gift, that God has blessed us with, and for that, we are to be grateful. We are to be grateful that a lot of the medical conditions that we see affecting other persons, we are not affected by them, so we're to be grateful for good health. We're to be grateful that some of the problems that persons are faced with, we might be faced with problems of our own, but some of the problems that other persons are faced with, when you hear them, you just have to say, thank God. Thank God that I'm not faced with that. I don't have to deal with that. So the scripture tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 that in everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. So in everything, give thanks. There's always something to be grateful for. Always, always, always. No matter what the devil tried to tell you, to say that, everything is going wrong in your life, there is always something to be grateful for. And if you get up and that one thing to be grateful for is the fact that you have been blessed with another day of life, then trust me, that's the greatest gift that you can have. There's so many persons who have lost loved ones who, would wish that they would have been given another day, another chance at life. So if you get up in the morning and that's the only thing that you can be grateful for, give God thanks for life. And the thing is, the more grateful we are, the more the blessings will open up for us, and gratitude affects us in such a positive way, whether we realize it or not. And some of the things that, gratitude does for us is, and I've made a note because I didn't want to miss anything, as to how being grateful can, really help us as individuals. All right, so first and foremost, gratitude glorifies God. So if it is that you are being grateful for the things that you have in your life, those things are not of your own doing. Those are blessings from God. So when you have that attitude of gratitude and you're giving God, you're grateful for the things you have, you're glorifying God and what He has done in your life, because He's the one that has made those provisions. So that's one. The other thing, gratitude helps us to see God in everything. Again, like I said, nothing that we have is of our own doing. It's all gifts from God. So when you're grateful, for what you have, then you can see and you're able to recognize, that, God has actually given me this. God is the one who's opening up these doors for me. God is the one who is making this provision. God is the one who is giving me this opportunity. So then you can now clearly see that, God is with you, because sometimes, we think that God has forgotten us or He has forsaken us, and He did tell us that He will never, never leave us and he will never forsake us. So when you have that attitude of gratitude, then you can now see God in everything in your life. You know, if it is that you were on the road and you almost had an accident and, you know, you came out on the other side and, you know, it was a near miss, then even then, you know, you can see God, because by the time you're grateful now to say, no, God, thank God that I never meet another accident. Thank God my vehicle never get right off, all of that. You know, you can see that God is with you and he has actually protected you and helped you to overcome that situation. So it helps us to see God in everything. Gratitude brings us peace. You know, when you're grateful for what you have, you're at peace. So you don't think about what you don't have. That's not in the forefront of your mind. That's not your focus. That's not what, you know, you're putting your energy into. You're putting your energy into what you do have, and you're being grateful and thankful that you have those provisions. You know, you're grateful and thankful that you have a roof over your head. It might not be a dream home, but you know, you're dry and you're safe from all the other elements, right? So it brings us peace. It also draws us to God. You know, when you're grateful, it draws you closer to God, because then, like I said, you're seeing God in everything. You're seeing how he's, you know, he has your back. He is opening up the doors for you. You see how, you know, you might not have known what you're going to have for your dinner in the morning, but there's a provision that was made by afternoon. So, you know, you're drawn to him because you sense that he's with you. He's ordering your steps. He's directing your path. You know, he's doing all these things in your life. And so, you know, you're automatically drawn to him. You're automatically, you know, wanting to have that relationship with him, to continue relying on him, you know, so that he can continue to do what only he can do in your life. It also brings contentment. So like I said, you're not focusing on what you don't have. You are thankful for what you do have, you know, so that makes you content, because, you know, you're not concerning yourself about, you know, you see that person with this and, you know, why you don't have it. You know, you're just at peace and you're content with where you are at and what you have. And you're just giving God thanks that, you know, this provision has been made for you. All right. It deepens your faith and it leads to joy. It really does deepen your faith, because now you start relying on God more. You start trusting God more. You know, you're there and you're content, and he's opening up the doors for you, and you realize that, look, this is really not of my doing. This is all God. This is what God is doing for me. So it really does deepen your faith and help you to start trusting and even relying on him more, you know. And you're there just waiting for what next he brings forth in your life, you know, what next he puts on your table, you know, what other door is he going to open for you. The next thing that gratitude does for us, it guards us against envy. So if you're grateful for all that you have, you don't have time to go and look at what anybody else have and to go and hope and say, you know, why I question and say, you know, why I don't have this, I want this, you know, I want, no. You're focused, you're in your own little lane, and you're focused on the blessings that have been bestowed upon you. You're focused on what is happening in your life. So you don't have time to go and envy anybody for anything, because, you know, you're just so grateful for everything that you have and everything that has been given to you. All right. Gratitude helps us to live in the present. So like I said, you're focusing on the here and now. You're not wondering, you know, when you're going to get this, when you're going to be able to that. You're just enjoying the moment. You're living in the now. You're enjoying the gift, the life that God has blessed you with. You know, you're enjoying the fact that, you know, you're here another day, you know, and you're healthy. And even if you're not 100% healthy, but, you know, you're mobile, you're not bedridden, you know. So it really helps you to just stay in the present and just be appreciative of everything that is happening here and now in the present, right? And finally, gratitude gives you a testimony. You know, when you're grateful for everything that God has done for you, it really does give you a testimony. And, you know, we have so many testimonies. And sometimes we don't even realize. Sometimes if we take the time to sit back, and look at where we were and where we're coming from, and look at where we are now, that in itself is a testimony, because we would have seen where we're at now, and the things that we have now, these were things that we wished and hoped that we had, at some other point in our lives. So God has been really good to us, and we have no choice but to be grateful for everything that He has done in our lives and that He has continued to do in our lives. And I mean, like I said, if it is that you get up in the mornings, that's the greatest blessing, because so many young persons, are dying. Persons are not dying of old age anymore. Every day we hear it on the news, we see it, young persons are losing their lives. So the fact that you can get up in the mornings and you're in good health, the fact that you have a job to go to, you have a roof over your head, you have some food in the cupboard, just be grateful, just give God thanks. And I mean, the more grateful we are, the more blessings that will be bestowed upon us, because we're glorifying God, we're thanking Him for everything that He has done, and He will open even more doors for us based on the fact that we are giving thanks in all things, and I say in all things. So even if it is that you have not gotten exactly what you want, right, but you get something, whatever the something is, you still give thanks. So you continue praising Him, you continue giving Him all the glory and the honor, until it is that He provides you with whatever that one thing is that you might be waiting on. But I just encourage you this week to just be grateful in everything, just give thanks, and just recognize that as it is now, just being alive, just being able to even watch this video, is a blessing that, is denied to many. So just be grateful in everything that you do. Just practice having that attitude of gratitude. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have and give thanks for those. All right. So have a blessed week. And remember, for this week, we're practicing. There's not even this week, for this week and beyond, we are activating our attitude of gratitude. Stay blessed.